I was closing the bakery for good, not just for the night. The shelves were already bare, the sign in the window turned inward. The mixer sat unplugged, like it had finally accepted the decision. I was throwing out what didn't sell, slices that were still soft, icing still holding its shape. Food waste had stopped bothering me years ago, or maybe I'd learned how not to feel it. She appeared when I was tying the black bag. "Do you have any expired cake?" Her voice wasn't timid, it was careful, like she'd practiced the sentence. She was small, clothes too thin for the season, shoes that had lost their shape. Her hair was pulled back with something that looked like a rubber band rescued from the street. I remembered noticing her hands first, steady, open, not reaching. I cut 2 slices without asking questions. I told myself it was easier that way. She watched my hands closely, nodded once, and left. The next night she came back at the same time, same sentence, same calm. "One for me," she said when I handed her the bag, "one for my little brother." She never ate inside, never lingered. She didn't thank me, but she looked at me as if we'd made an agreement. After a few nights, I started setting the slices aside early. Not fresher ones, whatever would have gone into the bin anyway. I told myself I wasn't changing anything, just redirecting waste. That lie held for about a week. What changed wasn't her routine, it was mine. I began watching the clock, listening for the door, feeling a strange relief when she arrived, like the night had completed itself properly. I didn't ask where she lived. I didn't ask how old her brother was. Silence felt respectful, or maybe it felt safer. One evening she hesitated before leaving, just a second longer than usual. Her eyes moved past me, to the darkened ovens, the empty racks. "He doesn't like chocolate," she said, "but he eats it anyway." Then she was gone. That night I followed her. I stayed far enough back to pretend I wasn't following at all. She walked quickly, confident in a way children only are when they've had to learn routes early. She didn't look over her shoulder. She turned into a block I didn't usually walk through. The buildings leaned toward each other, windows patched with cardboard, stairwells that smelled like damp concrete and old cooking oil. She went inside one of them. I waited longer than I should have, long enough to hope I'd misread everything, long enough to feel ridiculous. From the stairwell I heard a man's voice, not shouting, not kind either, flat, tired, the sound of someone who expected obedience and usually got it. I didn't see much. I didn't need to. Her brother was younger than I'd imagined, much younger, sitting on the floor with a plastic spoon, eating carefully, like he knew food could disappear if he moved too fast. The man took the bag without looking at her. "Tomorrow," he said, not a question. My stomach turned, not from shock, but from clarity, the kind that doesn't announce itself. It just settles. I walked home without finishing the block. I didn't sleep. The next morning, I didn't bake. There was no point. Instead, I made a call. I didn't dramatize anything. I stuck to facts. A child, 2 children, nightly food collection, an address. I said I wasn't sure because I wasn't. Certainty felt like overreach, but concern didn't. The woman on the other end asked calm questions. She didn't thank me. She didn't promise anything. She said someone would check. That afternoon, while I was packing boxes in the shop, a car stopped across the street, then another. People moved with purpose, not urgency. Clipboards, a uniform, the kind of authority that doesn't need to raise its voice. I watched through the glass as the girl stood on the sidewalk, holding her brother's hand. She looked around, confused but not panicked. The man stood apart, talking, his posture stiffening as the conversation continued. No one looked at me. Later, someone came into the bakery, asked a few questions. How long, what time, what she'd said. I answered plainly. When they left, the room felt larger than before. That night, there were no cakes to give away. The bins were empty. The door stayed locked. I don't know where the children went. I don't know what happened after. I know the bakery closed 2 days later. I know I still think about how easy it was to give slices and call it enough. Kindness can be a pause button. It can delay the moment you have to decide what you're actually responsible for. I decided late, but not too late. And that's the part I carry with me. Not pride, not relief, just the weight of knowing that silence, too, feeds something.